Okay. Giga grinding again. Shit. Need to turn on the in-game sounds now. Paging talaga tama. Actually watch while I'm playing. Oh shit, I forgot the person. This one. Please don't cancel, please don't cancel. Nice.
Alright, here we go. Let's do this.
So last week, the only fans...
Oh, is there something here? Should I buy used traps? This place sucks anyway. Only grinding here for the Spectre scale. So far in 10 hours I got how much? 3 deathers basically. Is it 10 hours or 8 hours? This is not bad. Should I increase my in-game time? Right, increase this one.
Richie! Right on time.
Hey, you're the lawyer?
Ron the Flom. Great to meet you. So, what do you think?
About...
Jeannie. She's pretty hot, right?
Oh, yeah. No, she's very pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, we're doing that, okay?
See, y'all, Peter tells me you're popping your cherry with this. Let me just walk you through it. Rich. Lawyer, not lawyer. I got you. You know how sea turtles have like a shit ton of babies because most of them die on their way down to the water? Peter just wants to make sure that his money makes it to the ocean. But it seems like you got your shit together. A lot of these guys come in here and they can do all the engineering stuff and they get all hung up on technicalities. These guys are so bugged. It's like you need both halves of the brain, right? The Jobs and the Wozniak, the yin and the yang.
Oh, I think it's yin.
Yin? Like yin and yang?
No, like yin and yang.
No, it's yin and yang, they're opposite. So Pied Piper, drop it on me. What is it?
Well, we started off as a music app.
Yuck.
Well, our Wiseman scores are consistently high across all media, audio, video, metadata. Actually, that's not true. We've had some trouble encoding 3D video. I think it's because the pixels change value differently than conventional.
What's up, Richie Rich? Great seeing you last night, buddy. Just wanted to let you know I had my associate draft up everything like we talked about, and it is all good. All right, homie, I gotta go. My anima guy is here.
Gary, namaste.
Did you work on Pied Piper on Huli time, or use Huli equipment to develop it in any way, at any time, Richie?
No, and no.
I want this voice.
Great. And by the way, always tell me that, and tell yourself that, because if you believe it, a jury will too.
Oh, I do believe it. It's the truth.
Great, that one was even better than the other one. I love it. Always say it exactly like that. breach of non-solicitation and the hiring of someone named Donald Dunn.
Jared. We call him Jared.
Changing his name to get out of it. Clever, but irrelevant. A young startup with an IP lawsuit hanging over its head? I wouldn't want to be a part of that team.
Well, but you are a part of that team.
I'm part of the team that team is on.
It just sounds really expensive.
Says the guy who just got bukkakied with bad term sheets. Welcome to the business, Richie. Hey, Richie, I gotta bounce on over to my mind-body thing, but I just wanted to give you the good news. I got you a top-shelf litigator.
Okay, so how much?
This whole thing is gonna cost you $2.5 million tops.
What?
I know, right? Like it's free. I told you I'd pay for myself. I'll get out of your pubes. I'm emailing you intros to the guys you're meeting tomorrow. Later. So you want to sue Russ Hanna?
Yeah, we had a contract. He promised to give us $5 million, and now he's welching.
And you want to sue him?
Yes, because they stole our IP.
Before or after you gave it to him? Richie, you're not a guy that should be worried about suing people. You need to be worried about the guy at Cooley who's suing you. You let Hanneman walk. How do you plan on paying these cats?
I just paid them 80 grand.
As a retainer. That retains them. Now you gotta pay them.
Hold on. I just paid them $80,000 for the right to pay them more?
Yeah. Fucking lawyers, man, right?
Enough with your coy bullshit, Richard, okay? I know you have my goddamn phone.
What the fuck do I have to do to get it back?
Well, I was thinking that in exchange for my help, you,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
You can't use the term in exchange. It implies causality. It's basically extortion.
who knows, it might even cause Hooli stock to crash or certain careers to be ruined.
Richard, are you threatening me?
Am I threatening you? That's a good question. No.
Since this phone's OS is a stolen prototype worth $40 to $60 million, you're looking at felony grand theft, Richard. You could go to jail for 40 years. Then again, you'd probably be fine in a full-blown hard-time penitentiary. I mean, after they waxed your rectum and knocked out all your front teeth just to make things easier.
Paul, you there? Ron? Hey, buddy. Sam and Melinda there, too?
They are. Say hi.
Hey, Ron.
What up, kids? Let me hit you back in 10. We'll sidebar this. You remember that shit deal you brought me from Hanneman? And I said, hey, Richie, this is a shit deal, but you took it anyway because you wanted to do something crazy for once in your life?
Yes, I remember.
Well, you basically just loaded a gun and handed it to Hanneman, and Hanneman sold that gun to Rabiga, and then Rabiga just fucking pistol whipped you. He was a little blood with the dilution for the new CEO, but I've seen worse. Like that shit deal you brought me from Hanneman.
I'd rather quit. And I don't care how much money I lose because I am going to get it all back when I sue the living shit out of you. Ron, let's go.
Technically, I'm Pied Piper's corporate counsel, and you just declared your intention to walk, so in effect, you kind of just threatened to sue me. And I don't take kindly to threats, Mr. Hendricks.
Mr. Hendricks? What happened to Richie?
Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to discuss him with you either, Mr. Hendricks.
So he's a patent troll?
Yep. Guys like him buy a ton of super broad IP from failed startups at auction and then threaten litigation against accused infringers, i.e. So, how much is Burke asking for?
$20,000.
Ah, you're getting off easy.
Well, no. Look, his patent covers storage of media files on a network. I mean, that cannot be enforceable.
It's probably not, but to find out, you're gonna have to fight him in court. For a good litigator, we're talking at least a couple $100 grand. Just pay him the 20 grand, Richard. It's like Limp Bizkit.
You sued those guys too?
Not the band. The thing the band is named after. Limp Bizkit's an old frat ritual where all the brothers race to stroke one out onto a biscuit, and then the last guy to nut has to eat it.
Right. So sometimes it's a wheat thin.
So, Mr. Yang.
It's Mr. Jin. In China, last name comes first.
Okay, Mr. Jian, you say that Ehrlich Bachman wrote this letter to you?
Yes.
This is Ehrlich. Hello. I am gone, but Jian Yang is a very good friend and very smart. I want him to be the leader of the house and control all of the friends. Goodbye, Bachman Ehrlich. Okay, I don't technically represent Mr. Bachman. I'm Pied Piper's corporate counsel, so my exposure to Bachman pertains only to his 10% ownership of the business. This letter is not a legal document. I mean, maybe a skilled attorney could make a case that in the absence of an existing will, this would serve as one in the case of Bachman's death. But as far as I can tell, the guy is not
Dead. Yes. Eric is dead.
Do you happen to have death certificate or any form of proof?
Ron, hello.
Hey, buddy, hang on just a second. No, the exit is the exit is the other way. God damn it. Richie, you know a guy named Jian?
Jan? No, I know a Jan the man, but she's a woman. Wait a second. So the guy who just kicked me out of my house now owns 10% of my company?
Technically, he kicked you out of his house, and he inherited all of Mr. Bachman's assets, including his 10% of Pied Piper.
By faking his death.
Allegedly. Look, Richie, you didn't actually lose anything here, okay? Bachman is the aggrieved party. And if he is actually still alive, he'll get his 10% back when he shows up. So what's your real beef here then, huh, Richie? Got something against him? You don't have like a bias against Asians, do you?
Richie? No, I don't. No, I just don't like being kicked out of my house.
By,
nothing. By no one. By any race.
Yeah, I'm hearing something different. One more right there. And Dunzo. Series Babail.
Richard, don't sign it. Look, I can't protect you. At some point, Lori's gonna fuck you over and make you sell ads.
What?
And I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Don't sign the deal.
I just did. It's done. Jesus Christ. Lori's gonna sell ads. Isn't that what I told you? What the fuck am I supposed to do now? God!
You know I can just tear these up, right?
Not wrong. Just chill as
Make this fast. Need to sleep.
Deaf 14-year-old started hearing imaginary explosions.
Exploding head syndrome. Cool. Well, obviously his brain knows how to hear.
Patient went deaf at age 4, complication of meningitis.
So I know cochlear implant.
Usual suspects are insomnia, which she doesn't have, migraines, which she doesn't get, and head trauma, which didn't show up on the CT.
Damn imaginary pen.
Mom's signatures on everything. Did Dad die?
No, doubt it. He was a sperm donor. Medical records couldn't be cleaner.
So we're left with temporal lobe seizure.
Wrong. Someone at the wrestling meet would have noticed a seizure.
Could have just looked like a bad shot to the leg. Put him in the seizure lab. See if his head blows up all over again.
Still no spiking.
Going to 20. No sign of seizure. Temporal lobe activity is still clean.
Doctor? Doctors, he can't see. One of his eyes.
The limp leading the blind.
Is that supposed to mean something?
I didn't think so.
So, exploding head syndrome plus vision loss.
Subclavian steal syndrome, vascular defect coupled with constant arm movement could siphon blood flow from the brain.
We should do an angio. Check his
Knock yourselves out.
We got to fight the power that be.
sure. Now, I would be surprised if someone comes here and just kills me. This place sucks. I wonder why no one joined. I assume the low drop rate of the depth, right? The thing about this place, the TL hours are exactly that way. It's like 1 to 200 M. It's like playing SE. That was only 100.
Say it with me, boys. Tier 3. Tier 3 today. Tier 3 today. 100%. I farm out all the islands. I do everything off stream. But then other people are fucking spending real life money. But people are mad at me. Man. I'm about to get it. You want me to use this, huh? You want me to fucking use this shit? Let's go. Tier 3. 50%. No. I'm gonna do it again. Doing it again right now. I'm doing it again right now. Come on, please. Guys, I don't know if we're gonna get to tier 3 today. You know what? Actually, that's not true. The two that I had there, listen, these were just, I just got the bad rolls out of the way, you know? Like this one. Okay. All right. That's what I thought. All right, good. We're okay, guys. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're still going to tier 3 today, guys. Listen, we just had a mistake there. That's all. It was a bug in the game. It's a bug in the game. This is gonna happen. God, what the fuck, man? Is this serious? Okay, all right, good. Yes. That's what we want to see. Okay, unyielding greatsword. Okay, 30,000. This is a lot of money for me to upgrade this weapon. Here we go. Come on, please. Please, come on. Yes. Okay, all right, boys. Now we're in the game. Now we're winning. Okay. Now, I think I should do... What should we do now? Should we do weapon or should we do gloves?
Go weapon.
Let's do gloves. Let's do gloves first, then we'll do weapon. Okay, here we go. We're doing this one right now. Weapon, too late. See, we do gloves, and now we're gonna do weapon. Now we're gonna do weapon, guys. I know it. It's gonna be this easy. Watch how good players do. Watch how good players win. I'm not even gonna look at the screen. I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to look at the screen.
You don't even have to look at it. You can just hear it. It's gonna explode. Fucking knows. Is that thing downgrade like that? That would suck.
There it is, boys. I knew I was gonna get it. I knew I was gonna fucking get it, boys. See, there it is. It's that easy for me right there. It is that fucking easy for me. There it is. Use your breasts. I will use everything I can, okay? We've got to get one more. Let's get this one up to, let's get the chest piece up to 13, okay? Up to 14, I mean to say. All right, guys, here we go. Y'all ready? You guys ready to see this? That's my last upgrade. just how a good player plays the game. That's all. That's all, guys. It's just an honest day's work. I just click the button and I get the stuff. I am 1073. I am very, very fucking close. You can make one more level 5. Too bad. I'll probably get 2 upgrades out of these stones here, because I can get probably 3. So, like, maybe I'll mess one up and then the other 2 will happen. Okay, guys. Alright, guys. Who wants to see me win? Who wants to see me win right here, boys? Y'all ready to see it happen? Alright, boys. Watch this. Watch this. Watch me win. The literal god. Guys, it's all in a day's work. It's all in a day's work. Listen, I play the game, I get the loot. Like, it's just that easy. Watch, I'll do it again. I do it again, just in case anybody missed out. They didn't see how it worked, how it's done. How does he do it? I'll show you how I do it. I just click on the button and I just go ahead and I do it. Watch, it's right here. Boom. There. See, there it is, boys. It's just that easy. See, look at that, guys. It's no problem. It's no problem. See, oh, there it is? Yeah, there it fucking is. I just 2-tap that bitch. It's no problem. That's 580 item level. And I need to do 45 leap stones for each one? Holy fucking shit. Okay, that's going to take me quite a while. All right, let me go over here. Incredible gear. I know I have it. 1080. So I'm only 1 upgrade away for each one? Holy shit, dude. Check mail. And let's look at mail. For whenever you fail your honing. Weapon power plus... Oh, man, fuck you. Thanks. Oh, you sent me 200 gold. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Moon's Breath. Use these when upgrading. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, I will be taking those. Thank you. Thank you so much. What's this? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I need those. Thank you so much. Life Leapstone as well. Thank you again. Bloodstained Rod. Thanks for the entertainment. Thank you for the rod. I appreciate you giving me your rod. Yes, guys, I am taking anybody who invite me to the guild, not for nothing. Thank you guys so much. Rod, yeah, he gave me his rod. Okay, that's right. Oh, that's 80% Rethramus. Nice. Thank you very much. Please send me all of your adventure journal items, okay, guys? Please, I need them. Can I upgrade? I can upgrade 1 piece to 15. I can upgrade 1 piece to 15, gentlemen. No, I can't. I don't have the life stones. Wait a second. Let me check the shop. Let me check the shop. Maybe they have life stones here. Okay, let's see here. Life shard pouch. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right. Okay, boys, we're good. We got it. We got it. Everything's fine. All right, guys. Everything's totally okay. This is totally normal. This is just elite gameplay. That's all we're looking at right here. So let's look at that. After this, I want to do the next Guardian. Okay, Life Leapstone. Let's buy this one too. Okay, that's $14. Alrighty, great. And we'll go ahead and claim that item as well. There we go. And then where's the pouches? Are there any pouches? Harmony shards. Those are only tier 1. Life shards. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're good. Okay. And we'll claim this one right here. Yeah, let's go, guys. This is literally for free-to-play players? No, it's not. You can only get this stuff. Listen, I've been seeing posts on Twitch chat. According to Twitch chat, you can only get these if you spend real money. That's the way it goes. Yeah, I know some people might not understand that, but yeah, there it is. So this is just a traditional...
What I hate about this place, I cannot be brain dead. Even my high BP, I would even dare brain dead grinding. Let's see.
Nothing feels better than winning when people are patiently waiting to see you fail. Dan, you've lost 1 million followers in the last 12 months, seen your stock price plummet so low you had to take it off the stock exchange, and now spend the rest of your time copying Andrew Tate.
Yeah, we're gonna start a website called Sigma Society.
While rambling about politics on Twitter. This is basically the definition of failure, and here's exactly how it happened. Dan Bilzerian took his company Ignite public at a price of $2.50 per share back in January 2019, a time in which his career was going perfectly. His Instagram was gaining 400,000 followers per month, he was living in a $65 million mansion, and most importantly, everybody believed that his lifestyle was real. That would be until July 2020, 18 months after Ignite started, when Dan fired Ignite's vice president, who then sued Dan Bilzerian for unfair dismissal, in the process completely exposing his phony business model. For starters, the lawsuit explained that Dan Bilzerian hadn't actually paid $65 million for his mansion, but the property was rather rented for $2.4 million per year. On top of this, it was shown that Bilzerian paid for the travel expenses of the rotating cast of models that permanently accompany Bilzerian wherever he goes, despite Dan consistently stating that the girls were there voluntarily.
Do you pay these girls to come?
No. Okay, so
that's the big misconception,
yeah, I'm
right?
addressing that on my app.
However, the craziest part of the lawsuit outlined Dan's strange expenses, including $75,000 on a paintball field, $40,000 on a rock climbing wall, $60,000 on a Star Wars gun set, $31,000 on pool renovations, $50,000 on a bed frame, $15,000 on a ping pong table, and $88,000 on a vault, just to name a few. It was also stated that some business expenses charged to Ignite were for household items, groceries, and luxury yacht rentals, with a different former employee stating Ignite pays for everything. Models, events, yachts. Dan would just have it wrapped with the Ignite logo, and all of a sudden it was an Ignite expense, and he would send them the bill. Pools, trampolines, the employee added. His personal events that had nothing to do with the business. Dan responded by stating, "Some journalist said Ignite was funding my life. Bitch, I've been going hard for 10 years and been famous for going hard for 7. I started Ignite 2 years ago, raised around 100 mil, and I own the majority of the company, suck my dick," although his arrogant response failed to dismiss anything, especially the company's atrocious financial reports. Dan had spent a total of $69 million during Ignite's first year in business, which was offset by only $9.7 million in sales. Given the previously mentioned lawsuit explained how terribly this money was spent, Ignite's stock price plummeted by almost 90%, from $2.50 to a low of 28 cents in October 2020. As the media began to report on Dan's losses, he'd respond by stating Uber is worth $80 billion. It has never had a profitable month since it started, and it lost over $5 billion in one quarter last year. However, Ignite's financial losses weren't even the worst part. Ignite only had an audience because of Dan's extravagant life, which as a result of the lawsuit had been exposed as rented. His lifestyle was once mysterious and intriguing, but it lost its edge as soon as people realized it was just another business. On top of this, the whole mega rich guy on Instagram shtick was cool in 2014, but by 2020 everybody knew it was complete baloney, which began to reflect in Dan's Instagram statistics. In May 2020, Dan almost completely stopped posting to Instagram, and by the end of the year he'd begun to lose followers. In the meantime, the media speculated that he'd soon file for bankruptcy, to which Dan clapped back by tweeting a skeleton with the caption, "Or the dumbass journalist patiently waiting for Ignite to go bankrupt." Dan was right, Ignite wasn't filing for bankruptcy, but that didn't mean that things were going well. After losing $69 million in 2019, Ignite lost a further $19.7 million in 2020, during which the media released another strange detail. Dan Bilzerian's dad was supposedly running Ignite from behind the scenes. Now this was a problem for one main reason. Paul Bilzerian was a convicted felon who was illegally prohibited from participating in publicly traded companies. He'd spent a year in jail for fraud in the 90s, leading Dan to pretend that they weren't that close.
I talked to him probably 4 or 5 times a year.
However, according to one article, Paul Bilzerian has taken a less shadowy role within the company, sending thousands of emails between himself and other top executives at Ignite. This was only speculation at the time, but if Paul was in fact running the company, he was starting to do something right. Despite losing $19.7 million into—
Let's go for a remaster. Screw it. YOLO, let's go. It's gonna hurt my PC, but yeah, who cares? I'm gonna be so blinded with this. On contrast, let's change to vibrance. I don't like non-contrast. Doesn't look good. I don't even see anything. I couldn't see it.
Aren't you guys fake news?
We're not bought and paid for like you, Naz. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Hi to your friend.
I will. Cheers.
Be careful, guys. These are really bad people.
Well, if Naz says that, the opposite must be true.
I am in control. The problem is, I just can't stand.
Why don't we sit
people
down, have a grown-up
like
conversation about it?
I'd have a grown-up conversation, and you just got to calm down, though, and stop swearing and stop
Is there
touching
any more
me.
news that can cover you guys?
You got to stop swearing and stop touching us.
What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I'm just going to tell you to control your emotions.
So,
Can I ask you a question? You said I spread conspiracy theories, but you haven't told me one. Tell me one that I've spread. I don't think you even know my
I don't
word.
think we have enough time.
You can tell me one, but I don't think you even know one.
So let's see. Will this go up on your Twitter?
No,
I hope you put it.
You said I
Please
spread
put this on your
conspiracy
Twitter.
theories, but you
If
haven't.
not, I'll put it on my Twitter. So wait, what are we doing? How do we start?
I'll help you. My name is Nas. I'm so excited because my friends are global elitists. In May last year, I bumped into global influencer Nas Daily on the streets of Davos and confronted him about his hypocrisy of jet-setting to the World Economic Forum to preach his global warming alarms.
We've done more for climate change than you have.
Yeah? What have you done?
We've done.
How did you get here?
We've done more for climate change than you have.
After that initial interaction, Nas put up his own version where he blurred my face and the rebel branding. He claimed that it was to protect us from the backlash, even though we published it. But the truth is, he published it by blurring our details so no one could find the full video and see the punchline he'd left out.
You eat meat?
I eat meat.
What's your footprint?
But I'm not the one here. I'm not the one standing here pretending that I stand for all these things.
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
But you do, mate. You do. There you go. The biggest hypocrite on YouTube. After his cowardly edit and upload, I challenged Nas to a debate on the only platform that I have a much larger reach than him, on Twitter. Now, it's important because you see, Nas has a huge following on YouTube and Facebook, millions. But the platform that really matters to him is Twitter, because that's where all the elitists he sucks up to, that's where they hang out. So after challenging Nas on Twitter, his people got in touch with me and we agreed, so I travelled to Dubai with my own cameraman to debate him. We completed the debate in about an hour before his girlfriend came in and told us that we had to restart it.
you guys are like arguing with each other, you're not actually talking about the topic. So as a viewer, I would be disappointed. I would be like, is this
That's why I need you to stop us and tell us where to go.
arguing with each other debate, or are you actually debating? Because you like neither of you has debated the topic. Everyone.
Yeah.
So I think you should start again.
You're his girlfriend that hated me, eh?
That's good.
I
No,
feel-
I do not hate you. He's a liar.
You said it.
No, you said who didn't want this debate to happen. I didn't want this debate.
Why didn't you want this debate? This is more interesting. Why didn't you want this debate to happen?
I don't know. I just felt like you're very.
I would win.
She gets bad vibes from you,
Oh,
bro.
you think I'm confrontational? Do you reckon I'm...
Confrontational, faceless confrontational.
Do you still think I'm confrontational now, after watching us for 2 hours confronting each other?
I think you're both confrontational.
Yes, I bring out the confrontation in Naz.
Okay, raise your hand if you think what we have is good for like 10 minutes, 15-minute debate, or raise your hand if you think we believe we should redo. Wait. I'd rather redo them. I'd rather redo. Hello, my name is Nasir Yassin. I also think the global elites are bad and sinister.
Not on board already. Screw up. Yeah, was. I wish I could grind there in that secret, but I don't have the I need the pen block stuff first.
Seems Hassan doesn't. Seems Hassan doesn't share your opinion on the Pokimane situation. What? That it's bad taste to call your audience broke? I feel like that's like the most normal cold take anyone could ever have. People getting timed out in Hassan's chat for agreeing with your Poke take. I feel like a lot of times on Twitch chat it's just people trying to fan flames of controversy. Why insult the people that made you money? Calling them broke, it's bad taste. It's bad business as well. Like, that's not a crazy take. Like, I don't know who would be getting timed out for saying that. Because the person who was complaining about the price wasn't part of the Pokies community. You think it was one person? Brother, it's just expensive, that's all. And there's not even, like, a controversy there. Like, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of, like, value, it's fine. It's not like a scam, it's just bad value. And people are like, it's expensive. If I had her cookies right now, I'd probably really like them. Eyes might roll into the back of my skull, but at the end of the day, it's still $28 for 4 packs of cookies. That's a very expensive item. Hassan made a video 1 hour ago about you disagreeing with him. Okay. That's a really weird thing to disagree on. It seems Hassan doesn't share your opinion on the Pokimane situation. What?
Now I keep hearing that this group has...
Okay. This guy. Oh. Is that 30 leaves? Holy shit. These places are the biggest cause of the Myanmar, a rebel victor. Oh shit. They're fighting the military. Come on. Sure no one comes here. I wanna get home for work.
So this is my favorite thing that happens, is that whenever somebody says something, everybody turns it into some sort of like sexist thing. You know what I mean? So there was like a person who goes, this gets 10,000 likes. A lot of people had to say this. Can you imagine if Pokey said Twitch culture is for losers? I would like to let this person and a lot of these other people know that there were a lot of people who were very angry with what I said. And you know what? I wasn't joking. I wasn't saying it to one rude viewer. I was saying it to everyone. That's the difference. Isn't that the guy whose house is a literal trash can? He's the tooth blood guy. I don't know who this person is. I'm not really sure who they are at all.
Oh, but I do.
I'm judging him for wiping his mouth on his hand and smearing it along the wall like a goddamn animal.
Two can play that game.
America deserved 9/11. I can't disavow facts, man. I can't disavow reality. That's not how that works, bro. Like,
Poseidon Orbiter? Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to like who her or anything like that. I don't know who this person is. This is the way. So like, I know this might sound weird to you guys, but like, I really don't care if people make tweets like this about me. But the truth is, like, that's her freedom of speech. She can say whatever the hell she wants to say about me.
Or do I rate myself?
Attention gamers. Previously on my attempt to overcome my League of Legends addiction by playing arguably the most addicting game ever, I sought to prove that the bigger they are the harder they fall before struggling to kill someone my own size. I learned how to aim my shots and motorboated an Elwyn Hottie before grouping up with an incredibly intimidating group of players to venture into the sunken temple where we solved puzzles, slayed the most successful Sen Jin village spawns, and prepared to fight the final boss who has killed many level 60 players. Whoops, did I make it seem like this fight was anything but a piss in the pond, because we actually smurfed on this shady Drake, and even though he did look my way at one point, it was when he was already past his prime health wise. So yeah, we slayed the shitter. I rocked the biggest damage wiener on the charts. Here's the loot for anyone who can't enjoy a boss fight without seeing it, and it's safe to say we sunk that temple. Anyways, I started to feel a bit lonely in this big beautiful world. It turns out I had far surpassed the average lifespan of most mouth breathers who play hardcore WoW, and I was feeling empty without someone to share this beautiful high-level scenery with. I craved human interaction, and anytime I saw another player I quickly rushed over to them, tried to steal their tag like a total dickhead, and then followed them around hoping to receive any attention from another player, but it turns out they were all just Chinese farming bots. So when I finally ran into a baddie, she was like, "Is that a bone in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?" And I was like, It's Stitch's femur, you dumb slut. Have you not heard of Rav, the avatar master of the hardcore elements? Keep your nasty cragboar ribs breath away from me. But then I remembered that I do want Howard to have a sexy stepmom with a dwarven upbringing, so I listened to what she had to say.
I've noticed that the water seems to have strange qualities.
And what I took from that was she wanted to go skinny dipping in the hot springs. But some douchebag tribe was now cock blocking me.
And they won't let me come near the two larger springs.
I simped and said I'll make sure she can skinny dip in peace, to which she said,
"Well, I think you'll want to see it for yourself."
So I ran off, picked some feathers to use to tickle her toes. You know all dwarfs have that Frodo Baggins foot fetish going on. Then I killed off the village of man-bear pigs, thinking she'll be so grateful that I cleared the area for our nude hot spring date, but Howard didn't fucking tell me I had a booger hanging out, so it killed the vibe.
It reminds me a bit of the sludge I saw when traveling through Fellwood.
I also apparently killed the wrong village of upright pigs, and she wanted me to genocide the bigger, much dangerous ones, to which I wanted to tell her to piss off, but I remembered how hard it was for a guy my height to get any attention from girls. And considering any time they did acknowledge me, I wasn't exactly the best at flirting, so I went to the village of evolved man-bear pigs, where every fight felt like a raid boss. Only to come back to her and be like, "Is that a yellow question mark above your head, or are you just happy to see me?" And let's just say I was ready to get this butt-naked bath action on, but she was all like, "Oh babe, one more thing, I need you to ride Rebecca all the way into bumfuck Kalamazoo to scout out some zone full of mobs that will easily invert your asshole if they see you, and then I promise we can hot springs and chill." But when I finally get back from that week-long trip, she has the goddamn nerve to tell me this.
I'd wait until you are a bit stronger if
I
you...
tell this bitch to go on the whatever podcast and talk about how her bad breath 4 out of 10 ass with the personality of a literal NPC needs a 6-foot man who makes 100 gold per hour and parses like Ompy.
if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Then I shove some steroids in my ass just to show her what she's missing, and let Howard know his dad is gonna be no one's bitch.
I hate this place.
Thankfully I have some boys who know how to distract me from heartbreak.
Find Gortesh and chop off his fat head.
Murder baby, so I venture over to that tatted Twinkie eater thinking he's not even an elite, so this will be a walk in the park, but according to my research that's not the case for everyone. But Rav the Avatar has the tools for every situation. Turns out this particular Serta mattress logo was feeling timid, so I chose the backup plan, which was to deploy a mini ice skating rink. Tell Howard to stay focused on giving that ogre a vasectomy while I make the little butt buddy play the most annoying game of Rundown. Gortesh was now looking like Nikocado Avocado fell asleep sunbathing at the beach while I just had to aim one shot to deal with his butt buddy. And while I pride myself on stellar RP, I struggled with this one.
Chop off his fat head.
So I sporked his skull, and seeing his noggin up there reminded me of something dank I had.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
And sure enough, by the end of that I was like Donovan who? Anyways, I had to venture into the plague lands, which I had been warned are quite deadly. These farms had a population density that could only be rivaled by China, but I wasn't having issues as I was using new abilities to dehydrate these shitters, only to stand and laugh at how utterly useless they are without mana. And as I'm looting the coveted tomato soup from the first farm in front of the food stamps line, I'm thinking this game's too easy, but that all changed when I hit up my homegirl Janice for a little ghostly gooch grabbing session as a rebound fling, but she's like, I'm on my period and actually I need you to grab my Tampax from the barn next door, and I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, okay. And not knowing what jealous exes will be in there guarding her menstrual kit, I sent Howard in expecting one or two, but not this. I didn't expect to get rear-ended by a blue skelly, but I wasn't going to let Howard die over just 4 mobs. This spawn was hyper and I had to run. To the left looked like a Kai Senate meet and greet, so I steered clear of that, and then I called Howard back knowing if I just left him there I'd get cancelled for racism, as we scrambled a bit and stayed alive, but these skeletons will apparently chase you all the way back to Coldridge Valley if you aren't careful, and that's when I realized this is when the game gets hard. I decided to take it slow when I came back only to hear this.
I need help.
So I hurry it up, grab her tissue dildos, and with that the first farm was down. Numero 2 was a bit different, as some guy was there making the rest of us look bad, but his name was sus as all fuck, so I had to do some policing.
No. Bro.
That said, the mobs were still giving Howard infections to the point where every time I sat down to drink he would shit all over me, so I was like, okay, there's a porta potty around here, we will let you get it all out, only for me to realize it was occupied with someone moaning in there. And I'm thinking, what a shitty, no pun intended, spot for someone to get hit with the emergency Chipotle queso shards, but at the end of the day Howard needed it, so I knocked again, only for the dude dropping a deuce to get defensive and come out swinging, which is a situation I've never been in before, but we took care of business so Howard could take care of his, and we were done with the second. Farm 3 featured things that tried to turn me and Howard into dead bitch popsicles, but outside of me having to dry hump the soup pot to be able to click on it, that was smoother than a dolphin dick, and I was ready for the last. This one had wailing horrors that made me hit for literally less damage than I did well before my balls dropped back at level 1, and the second I went to slurp those spaghettios, everyone and their undead uncle wanted to tickle my taint, but after a bit of chaos Howard and I successfully drank chili from all 4 farms in the Plaguelands. Then I'm about to let Howard piss all over some outcast script when I run into 2 Duratar douches with thrall dick on their breath, and even though I know they don't speak the same language I let them know how it's gonna go down as I nab the tag and prep a kiting split pull, only to be reminded that I'm apparently the only toxic asshole that has played too much League of Legends as they clear the quest for me. They tell me jokes, I laugh, and like a foreign hooker that you busted a nut after 2 pumps we share an inexplicable bond over a memory we had together without ever being able to communicate. Anyways, a time fetish midget tells me she needs a yearbook from the local town hall, and all I will need to do is clear through the zone that killed one of our guild's best speed running hunters a few weeks back.
How did...
What?
I thought what's the worst that could happen as the first mob I attacked turned into 4 as they apparently were all but fucking each other inside of one of their pixels, but luckily they were green. Howard was mean and this pole was clean, but little did I know of the dangers ahead. A bony 4-pack with some of the most deadly mobs in Azeroth who felt strongly against me getting into the school to grab that yearbook. The first one got flat out erased and I was ready to Amazon Prime me an easy button because this game is a cakewalk, but then the second healed Howard dropped and all of a sudden I was sweating like a blind lesbian at a fish market.
Uh-oh.
Howard was going down, so I planted a face on a stick in the ground knowing if he died I'd be more out of luck than the son of a stripper on Father's Day as I kept kiting back. I managed to weave Howard in and out of the fight to keep him alive, and all I had to do was keep running, but the temptations to go back in that have killed many men before me took over and I greeted thinking I would be fine. I feigned knowing I was under 10%, but I couldn't see my health and one flaming hot Cheetos queef out of Red Randy here and I'd die, so I chugged a Kool-Aid and just barely survived what would have been a tragedy. I wasn't leaving anything up to chance anymore as I researched which yearbook was correct, and after going full-blown detective I found the one with the shit stain on it and told Chromie I'm not doing another single thing for her entitled time-traveling ass, but it turns out I wasn't the only hunter who had a close call that day and others weren't as lucky.
What? Did Ampi just die? This is our best player. No. No! No! Oh!
And I may not know what he needed to kill that mob for or what it does, but it was going to be my new mission to avenge him.
Even though I don't play WoW. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like this.
Pew Pew panel here, and we're gonna see if we can air rack this new pistol. It's the Apache 9.
The Chewbacca, alpaca, you've been calling it all sorts of things.
I mean, yeah, because it's fun
Let's air
and
rack
and it
this.
makes the guys kind of upset.
All right. I'm not hearing anything. All right, let me give this a go. Let's see if I can do this.
I mean, look, it's harder than it looks, okay?
All right, let's see. I think we got it. I think we got it.
I don't believe it. Leave it to Dalen.
That's how you air rack a pistol. Subscribe for more.
Pew Pew panel here, and we're gonna see if we can air rack this new pistol. It's the Apache 9. What is this? What's the
There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body floats in bed if I just listen to it.
Nope. I'll give you another chance to guess.
There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body floats in bed if I just listen to it right outside the window. There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body floats in bed if I just listen to it.
Nope.
And there is a part that I can hear the guy voice.
So players were able to go into New World dungeons with 20 people instead of 5. I know, New World and bugs. Can you name a better duo? And so, basically, you were able to raid dungeons. And because every loot is personal loot, everybody was getting all the loot. So they were running over to the dungeons and then clearing everything, and then that was it. So guess what happened? Got banned in New World. Alright, let's watch it. Ooh, exploiting a bug true. Ooh, ouch. Not good. Uh-oh. Jesus. 300 suspensions for exploit abuse. We have clear monitoring. We know what you're doing. And so do you. My contact at AGS sent me a video about the meeting.
Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador.
Okay, I'm gonna skip past this. I'm gonna skip past it.
Todo despeinado porque no me
This is
dio.
funny, but I'm gonna skip past it. Probably accurate though, by the way.
So for legal reasons, I will confirm that that video isn't actually from the AGS office. Now, why did I get involved in this? So I saw Trick stream, I saw what they were doing, I thought that this is possibly the one and only chance I will genuinely have fun in expeditions. Now, I have enjoyed expeditions in the past, but this is different. This was different.
Is this the raid? Yes! This is the raid we all been asking for. Massive. Look at this, chat. Kill everything you see. Kill everything.
And so they're obviously going in there. It's a 20-man raid. Yep, there it is.
This is like an elite train right here. Help! What is going on? We're getting
The people are. I love how people are dying too.
Okay, oh my god, this is harder than regular mutation. Chat, we're negative 840. The first laser, chat.
What? Yeah, they are. They're negative 2,000.
They didn't make it, sweet angel girl.
Oh my god.
Now, I knew that there was a possibility of a ban, and I honestly, I didn't care. I wanted to do it. I wanted to get as many people as I knew involved into it as well.
It's that's just the New World, guys. That's the New World mentality. It's a new dupe.
Because I wanted to prove to AGS that this genuinely is something that the community have wanted for a long time. This is genuinely something brilliant. Now, actually,
he makes a very good point. He actually does. Because a lot of people have wanted these raids. A lot of people are liking the raids. So, yes, obviously, he shouldn't have been cheating. Cheating is not a good thing. But he's right that it does indicate that there is a demand for this type of content. We did it for fun. My raid didn't loot the whole entire time. Jesus. Can you give context for people that don't play this? There was a bug that allowed 20 players to join a dungeon instead of 5. And because all the loot in the game is personal loot, everybody went in and they cleared the dungeon. And you say, like, so what? Well, like, let's say you could do the mythic raid with 30 people instead of 20. Wouldn't that just make things a little bit easier? Yeah. Like, it's like, imagine you could do a mythic plus, but you bring in 40 people for it. And it doesn't scale.
Unfortunately, my recording fucked up. I don't have the run through of mine, so in the background you can see his Trick's run. But on multiple occasions, I was getting hit for like 50,000-60,000 damage. Our run on an M3 Genesis ended up being on like minus, I don't know, 7,000 points. We probably would have got less than a bronze.
Yeah.
There was something within the game that was scaling it to the point where you know, maybe if people were genuinely taking it seriously, they could have exploited it, and it would have been a terrible cheat. But this was genuinely fun. Now this goes. What I wanted to come from this, what I want to come from this is that AGS realize what the community wants. And again, I know that we're not everybody, but I think a lot of the community wants larger scale dungeon runs, the larger.
I agree with him. He's right. That's the thing, is he's actually right. This bug is probably a good thing for New World, because hopefully New World can see now that people really enjoy. Like, the Sandworm raid is really hard, so like a lot of people don't do it. But if there was like, I actually think that chest runs in New World are really cool. I really like chest runs. Like, they're fun as fuck. Yeah, they're awesome. People want to raid. Yeah. Like, give us a molten core. Come on, why not?
Raids, you know, like, well, I think when we were expecting the worm, we were expecting not an arena, but a raid, you know, where
like
you go
AQ40.
through
Yeah.
a scenario like a normal expedition, and then you end up at a boss at the end with a 20-man group. That's what I think a lot of us were expecting.
Yeah.
This also runs through to what we've been experiencing recently in the open world. Influence races are being kind of cheesed by people just straight up running missions. They're not even getting involved too much in the influence races anymore. They need to remove the missions completely and just have the PvP. It was amazing for the first week where...
Yeah, I remember I did the influence races, the PvP ones, and like, I'm not a big PvP enjoyer, but they were really fun, man. You know, 20 people was harder than with 5. The rewards were worth. It's kind of productive. You want to take advantage of doing this. Oh, I think definitely. Like, it's like, I think the problem is that even whenever, especially like whenever you're a streamer, even if you're not exploiting it yourself, you're still popularizing it. And I think that they have to ban streamers kind of for doing something that's like so clearly an exploit. Because there are some things that are just like, you know, a really fast respawn or something like that, which is like, that's not really something that you can be sure is like against the rules or not. But whenever it's something that is like very obviously against the rules, then I think that's what they kind of have to suspend people for.
You know, there was lots of random people getting involved, and that was really fun. But what's been happening lately, especially on our server,
yeah,
I've seen it on an NA server as well, is that there is a couple of castles throughout the map. And we, as players, have been using these castles as places to fight. So I think one of the scenarios some of the guys organised recently was there was a king in the Monarch's Bluff castle, and the team outside had to infiltrate or break into the castle, kill the king. Once they kill the king, they win.
Yeah, it's like Alterac Valley, basically. That's cool.
And then the roles swapped, and it was genuinely brilliant.
Yeah.
We personally had an instance where we went to attack an influence race point, completely overrun by purples. We ran and hid inside a fort, and we had this epic like 300 moment where yeah, it was just truly epic. Like the open world PvP in New World is fantastic. And this is what I thought when I saw these expeditions. I was like, yes, this is genuinely something fun. People genuinely had a good time. It was brilliant. So I got involved. I'm banned like the rest of you, and I don't regret it one single bit, because I hope that they
yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, I mean, they're suspended for what, a day? Who cares? I think this is an overall positive for the game.
Content like Trick.
I really don't care what they think.
How much money is in your guys' savings account?
$500,000.
What's the craziest thing you've done to an ex?
I made a fake social media account and I pretended to be a girl just to like try to pick him up, and he failed the test, and then I cut his tires.
So in 5th we have Mercedes. In 4th, Victoria.
I think I'm just too rich for these guys.
They don't really have taste. I definitely think it reflected how much they could handle a really bad. I really don't care what they think.
How much money is in your guys' savings account?
$500,000.
What's the craziest thing you've done to an ex?
I made a fake social media account and I pretended to be a girl just to like try to pick him up, and he failed the test, and then I cut his tires.
So in 5th we have Mercedes. In 4th, Victoria.
I think I'm just too rich for these guys.
They.
You're an asshole. Just the truth. George Winston. No, because if you're rich, you have the implication to be high maintenance. That's what it is. she doesn't care, why would she be talking about this? Oh, no, so tired. Did it last location? So tired. So tired. Plus I'm getting 47. Holy shit.
This video is sponsored by Incogni. Emerald green mountains, cascading waterfalls, and pristine beaches adorned with golden sands. These are just a few of the things often said about the tropical islands of Hawaii. But these lands are also filled with dark mystery and intrigue, with more than 100 people still missing from the island to this very day. When Japanese tourist Musubi Watanabe returned to Paradise, she had no idea that she'd join this number, or come face to face with the heartless killer who, to this day, still refuses to accept his deplorable actions. But no matter what this man says, the evidence against him is impossible to ignore. Today, we're diving into the world of Kirk Langford, his encounter with Musubi Watanabe, and how this man received the longest second-degree murder sentence in Hawaiian history. Welcome back to Coffee House Crime, folks. My name is Adrian, and today we're looking at the case of Musubi Watanabe. Now, sometimes a body is not required to convict someone over murder, and as you'll see in this story, there was enough evidence to take Kirk down. By the way, if you like coffee, then I have a surprise for you at the end of this video. Before we begin, today's video is sponsored by Incogni. Many of you will know of Incogni by now. Aloha, and welcome to Hawaii, folks. Now, this island paradise remains one of the top tourist destinations in the world, and it's quite obvious to see why. With stunning beaches, glorious seas, and incredible mountains, there is something for everyone here. Polynesians first settled here around 1500 years ago, and thankfully, this fact is rarely glossed over in our modern day age. The history, heritage, and origin of the island's early inhabitants are still celebrated to this day, and many of their traditions and customs are still thriving here. And the result, a beautiful blend of the comforts of the modern day age, melded with the special and unique recollection of a long-lasting way of life. This truly is the best of both worlds. Hawaii has its own distinct vibe too, a general sense of laid-back friendliness that permeates every aspect of living. Tourists are attracted by the millions here, and those who enjoy catching the waves will know that Hawaii is one of the best places in the world for surfing. Polynesians are reported to be catching waves as far back as the 12th century here, and to be honest, it all makes sense. I mean, if you live somewhere with waves this good, you'd be daft not to. With the likes of Kona Coffee, Lanikai Beach, and Jack Johnson, Hawaii is home to many great things. I could go on about this place for days, and it's somewhere that I'd love to visit again as an adult. Saying that, like all other places, there is a dark side to Hawaii too, and this case proves to be a cold shadow in its morbid history. Before we find ourselves in Hawaii though, we must first travel 4,000 miles northwest to the Japanese island of Sado, a small yet scenic island just off the mainland of Honshu. And it's here, in this other corner of paradise, that we could find the life of Masumi Watanabe. Masumi was born here to her parents Hideyoshi and Fumiko. She was the family's youngest child, with her two older brothers, Kenya and Ryo, completing the family lineup. She grew up in a happy home, surrounded by both love and familial support. She did well in school, got good grades, and generally stayed out of trouble. Safe to say that life was calm. With a population of just over 50,000 residents, Sado Island's way of life is quite similar to that of Hawaii. That being laid back and relatively carefree, or at least in comparison to Japanese standards. Masumi was the type of person to always seek more answers, which even extended into her own identity. And although she wasn't yet sure who she wanted to become, she wasn't scared to go ahead and find out. At the young age of 20, and after traveling to Hawaii for the first time with her family, Masumi fell in love with the place. Something just seemed to resonate here with her, on a very intense level. For this reason, she planned a solo trip back to Hawaii the very next year in the year 2007. And although her parents were initially reluctant to let her go, they saw how much this meant to her. And so, they made a special agreement with their daughter. She was allowed to travel alone on one condition, that condition being that she stayed with family friends already on the island. Masumi agreed to their condition, and so, at the young age of 21, she packed her bags, waved goodbye, and boarded her flight to Hawaii. Masumi planned to stay here for around about 2 months, and was determined to use her time well. She wanted to improve her spoken English, and also intended to volunteer and help out at the Sunset Beach Elementary School, which could be found nearby on the island of Oahu. Between volunteering and improving her English, Masumi flexed her artistic abilities by drawing much of her surroundings in her sketchbooks. And these activities aside, she also planned to pass her time by listening to music and reading. Despite her English still needing some polishing, Masumi felt at home in Hawaii. Standing at only 5 feet tall and weighing only 100 pounds, she was quite a petite lady. She also suffered from myopia and astigmatism, meaning that she had to wear special prescription glasses. So, it's safe to say that Masumi was quite a delicate woman, and potentially an easy target. But despite this, she felt both comfortable and unafraid on the island. As the weeks ticked by here, her existence became one of calmness. She spread her free time between volunteering at the school and inhaling every resource that the local library offered. As part of her regular daily routine, Masumi was dropped off a short distance away from her home and walked along Pupukeia Road. At the time, she was staying with Yumi Miura and her husband, who both happened to be family friends. This couple lived at the top of Pupukeia Road, with an additional half-mile of track to their front door. With only a couple of weeks left on the island, Masumi was nearing the very end of her holiday. And although she was happy to be heading home to her family, there was no doubt that she was going to miss Hawaii. Before that moment arrived though, she still had some time left here. It's that bittersweet moment of the holiday that we all feel towards the end. The date was April the 12th, 2007. And the time was around 9:30 AM. One of Masumi's friends dropped her off at the bottom of Pupukeia Road, and as always, Masumi took this chance to walk the rest of the way back home. The area was not particularly remote or rural, so Masumi had nothing to worry about. But as the time passed, and Masumi failed to arrive home, her host family started to become concerned. Yumi and her husband left the property to go and find Masumi, but after searching all around Pupukeia Road and finding no sign, they became increasingly anxious. Sensing that something was wrong, the couple decided to call the authorities to let them know that she was missing. After all, by now, she'd been MIA for over 2 hours. As the hours passed by, it felt like the appropriate time to inform her parents back home in Japan. By now, news was spreading all across the island, so it was only fair that they knew too. Locals were soon searching both high and low for Masumi. Her small frame and lack of English would make her stand out quite easily, but also, in contrast, made her quite vulnerable. The police began their investigation at the house that Masumi was staying in. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but they did take the opportunity while they were there to collect DNA samples. There were no noteworthy observations in her room, and there were no indicative signs as to why she would decide to run away. To add to that, her luggage was already sitting out and ready to be packed, and her return ticket back home had already been printed. As the news of her disappearance spread, multiple people came forward to share any information which may help locate Masumi, and a statement made by one of those people would prove to be extremely important. An eyewitness came forward to say that, on the morning that Masumi had disappeared, she had spotted a young woman who matched the physical description of her being persuaded into a truck by a man. It appeared to the witness that the girl was reluctant, apparently said no multiple times to the driver, and seemed to struggle against him. And although the only detail they could remember was that the truck was white, this was a pivotal moment in the investigation. While the authorities began to scour the area for white trucks, investigators got to work on the island's vehicle database, and that is when a second witness came forward with an almost identical story. However, this witness could provide one additional detail. They noticed that that white truck had a company logo printed on the chassis, and thankfully they could even remember the company's name, that being Holy Termite and Pest Control. Now this massively helped narrow down their search operation. The authorities believe that anyone who is capable of kidnapping must have previous run-ins with the law, and after crashing the data between the names of all pest control technicians and those who have had previous convictions, they finally had a name. So, this is where I must introduce you to a man named Kirk Langford, a technician who worked for Holy Termite and Pest